All right, welcome back to the Black Student Union podcast. I am Davion Robinson, the president of the Black Student Union. We're going to start with a quick introduction to everybody at the table. So we'll start going to the left.
All right. My name is Mrs. White. I am an instructional coach here at Case High School. And I also support the students as a business owner in the community, offering them advice.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Jalea.
Mr. BSU James.
Mia.
Julia.
Samaya.
All right, bet. And so today we're going to be talking about our experiences over our HBCU spring break college tour. And yeah, we're just going to give us some honest feedback and some positive things about the tour. And so first off, I'm going to just ask, have you ever been out of state before?
Yeah, I have.
You can go to
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
My bad. All right, bet. have you guys ever visited a HBCU campus before?
No.
No.
Nah.
Nah.
No.
So how'd you guys like that experience? Did you guys like the empowerment from all the black people you've seen and like all the good vibes you guys sensed?
Yeah, I feel like it inspired me and motivated me more.
Yeah, like it was just a lot of good opportunities down there and good people.
I love the experience seeing like a lot of students just like me too, so it was good.
Yeah, it was very family orientated and I like that. And that gave me more options.
Yeah, it opened my options up a little bit, and I just really enjoyed the experiences.
As soon as I stepped on the campuses, I felt like I was
How were your feelings prior to going to the trip? How'd you feel about going on this trip?
While I was going on trip, I felt excited because I get to visit all the different schools, and I also I was feeling like this was the trip that made me decide which college best fits me.
I agree with Jackie, like going to the schools. Like at first I didn't know like what school I wanted. So getting to see that, I saw like what I liked.
I like the experience. It showed me a lot of schools that I never put into consideration till now, so it was good.
I was excited because I really didn't go to a HBCU before, so I really just wanted to experience it.
Yeah, same for me. I was excited. It's something new, and it opened like what I want to do and what school I want to go to or consider.
same like Julia. I didn't know what I wanted to go, which school I wanted to go to, and I never been to HBCU, so it really opened my eyes.
For sure. How was it like going from state to state? How was it like visiting Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi? How was that? How'd you guys like it?
I think it was great because we get to see like the different environments of the different cities. And also when we had tried the different foods like the Bojangles, oh yeah, that was fire. Yeah, that
You
was
said
fire. But yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, I liked it traveling. I mostly liked the road trips, the little sunset.
I like that vibe too. It was good when we went to Alabama, seeing the sunset too. And then the vibes and the new experiences and making bonds with new people too, so it was great.
Yeah, and then seeing like all the other like cultures that people have in the schools too, and like I just love seeing the little city views we had when we were in the bus.
Yeah, I like the sunsets and all like that nature stuff and like the new environments and stuff.
It was really cool seeing the different people in the different states, like how they all how it was all different, and but they was all black at the end of the day.
Exactly. For sure. And so I know almost all of us at the table went south. And so asking Jalea, how'd you like the East Coast tour?
I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. It was so calm and like visiting, like we went to Howard, Hampton, and Norfolk. I really like Norfolk, but it was good schools, like it was really good.
For sure. And how'd you guys like the South tour? Everybody
I really liked it. All the schools was different, but they all had their own unique ways of how it made the school like a good school. I guess.
I liked it. They was all welcoming whenever you walked to the schools too, or like pulled up to the schools. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, and I like everybody on the tour was like chill and cool. Everybody vibe with each other. And then like I just really like when we went to the schools, they would all like have their little dance. Like the boys would do their dance. Yeah, I like that. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. It was like really nice. The vibes were good. Everybody vibed with each other, and the schools were very welcoming.
Yeah, I saw the schools. Man, the school is great. Like you hear good and bad things about the South. So to see like how they say like South people are just so nice and welcoming each other, like you really see that in person. I like that.
For sure. So, which school do you guys think impacted you the most?
I feel like the school that impacted me the most is it called Tougaloo? Yeah. The reason I said this because it's like the history there, and it's like you can still see the history, the trees, the buildings. They really don't do a lot of re-instructions like the other schools, so it's like the history's still there. Yeah.
I agree with Jackie. Seeing like Howard and Hampton, like they're very like old buildings, but it's so nice. And I also like Norfolk too because we had a good tour guide. Shout out to her. I don't remember her name, but I wish I did. But like they came in, like students came and talked to us. We got shown around. It was good.
It's a lot of good schools. I'd probably say TSU though. TSU was a good experience, and then the tour guide was welcoming too. Well, all three of them as well, and then one of them used to go to Case, so it was nice seeing someone from where we at there. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, I like Tennessee State too. Like it was a nice school. Even though it was really hot, I liked it. But you know, even though it was a party school, they still had a lot for education and a lot for like the, I don't know how to word it, but it was just a nice school. Yeah.
Career options.
Yeah, it was a nice school.
I agree. I like TSU a lot. The tour guide was very welcoming. She had a lot of energy. Like she was really welcoming, and like it's an education school, but also a party school. Like I like that. Or a party school, also education school.
Yeah, I know when I was learning the research HBCUs, I was assuming that TSU was just a party school. So doing that visit to TSU was very eye opening. You know, they actually care about their education. Mm-hmm. So that was a good part for me. That's not my favorite school. My favorite school is Morehouse.
Okay.
That was the one. Our tour guides were amazing.
Yeah,
so I love that one. Yeah. And so, how'd you guys like going through the different museums through the different states? Actually, let me do this one. Which museum was your favorite museum?
I gotta give it to the one in Alabama, the one that we couldn't take pictures in. I forgot the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really deep. I feel like when I was going through the museum, like it was like a timeline of how like the slavery began and how it went to the Jim Crow law, how like police brutality and how like innocent Black people get imprisonment for no reason exact. And I just feel like it was really emotional for me, especially because it was like these stories that you could read. So that was really deep. Yeah.
I can't remember what first museum we went to, but it was in Washington. Do you remember what it's called? Yeah. So that one was my favorite because it showed like the excellence, like it was so much like to be shown, like costumes, play, dances, like all the history. And I really enjoyed it. Like it was very moving and it gave you a lot of education, background, all of that.
Piggybacking off of Jackie, I like the Legacy Museum. That was probably, I ain't gonna lie, that was probably the best museum like I ever went to, like on some real stuff. Like it showed like how it all started. It showed like I'm a visual learner too, so it showed like the art of it. It showed you the prison cells when they was in there. It showed like, and then it showed like previous years too. So like just like the marching, like the protest showed like what I actually seen. So it was crazy just being a part of the history as well. So I don't know. That was probably most definitely the best museum I went to.
Yeah, that one was like, and I was so mad I couldn't take no pictures because it was so like beautiful. And like, they had like a bunch of sculptures of like a lot of black artists, and they had, and it was so nice. But then like they had these little ashes things of everybody, but like it was like ones that said unknown, and I was just like, that's so sad because it's like they don't even know that, they can't even say their names. But yeah, in the food truck that was outside of it made it. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yes, like everyone else said, that was probably one of my favorite ones. It was so nice and it had a lot of education and stuff. And like reading the stories and listening to like the stuff that was being said, it was like so heartbreaking. And it's just so heartbreaking hearing the stuff and like the ashes with the unknown names. It's like you don't know their names won't be said, but like it's just so sad.
I want to talk about the National Memorial of Peace and Justice. The last one we went to, the outside museum, where they had hanging tombstones of dead enslaved people that and some were unknown, like they had them by city, and they had them by city, and they had them by age. And I was just to see that and to like look for my last name, look for my my cousin's last name, like, and to see like all these people that died for literally no reason. And then the one in Jackson, Mississippi, I can't remember the name, but that really stuck with me because it was one exhibit where you would go under a certain light and a whip would sound off, and then you could see like why people died, the reasons why they died, and the reasons why they were lynched by these white people. So that was cool.
Sure. And so this question is for Miss White. How was your trip going down south to the colleges you visited?
So I actually was in Georgia the same time you guys were in Georgia. I took my daughter to visit Spelman and Emory. Most memorable for me was Spelman. The last time I was on Spelman campus, I was 16, and I was worried about whether the dorms had air conditioning, or I was really interested in Greek life because we don't really prepare for Greek life up north as well as they do down south. So that was the highlight of my trip, and so my lens was different at that time. So this time as a mom, preparing to have my first daughter go to college. By far, out of all, we've gone to 6 different colleges so far. Spelman was my favorite, and I hear you guys didn't get to see Spelman, so that's unfortunate because everything about the tour was very eye-opening for me as a parent and also as a Black woman. So one of the things when I left, I asked my daughter, I said, I've graduated. I went to PWI's, predominantly white institutions for both undergrad and graduate school. I've worked in predominantly white settings my whole life. And so I asked her, when in your life will you ever be allowed to be in a space that's cultivated just for you? So I thought that was the most beautiful thing about Spelman. Had nothing to do with education, but being able to walk on the campus and see different complexions, braids, plaits, afros, weaves, wigs, edges, freckles, light skin, dark skin. I mean, it was just absolutely beautiful. There were girls on the lawn doing yoga. Our tour guide was from New York. We had people in our group that were from California, but all those girls were there for the same reason. There was this feeling of sisterhood, and I feel like at 39, I still crave that as a Black woman. So I felt like if I was afforded an opportunity like that to be in a space that was cultivated just for me, just for a brown girl, I would sign up. Just because now at 39, I still don't rarely ever get the opportunity to be in a space like that. So my lens looking at HBCUs are different than they were when I was a teenager. Then it was like coming from up north, going down south. It was cool, but it also did feel awkward, right? Because let's just be honest, our schools don't look like that. So it sounded cool, but then it was scary too. Because it was well, what is that like to be in a space where everybody looks like me? Probably sounds weird to some, but you guys get what I'm saying. So I was really pushing for that history, the history of the buildings. We found out that Rockefeller made the initial donation to create Spelman, we'd also visited University of Chicago, and he made the initial donation to build the University of Chicago. So just the parallels of how those universities began, the white dress ceremony, the organ that was played at Dr. Martin Luther King's repast, still intact. The same organist, still there. The president lives on campus, her and her husband, a Black woman. Nassau has a huge partnership. There was just so many things. And I think the biggest thing was there's so many companies, corporations that come specifically there to give opportunities for young Black women, which I think is awesome because I've been that student that graduated, that had all A's, and that entered the workforce. And I still was a Black woman trying to compete against other people for jobs. And so that can be tough. And so to know that there's a place that prepares you for that, but also puts you in position to be competitive in the workforce. So I really, really, really love Spelman. Very unique. So I guess that was my experience. And I wish you ladies would have had that, you know what I mean? Because I really walked away from there like, wow, if I could be 16 again, like I would definitely go there. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I felt the same way about Morehouse. Like,
Yes.
The tour guides, the way that it's like engineered to give Black men the most tools to succeed. It's like amazing, you know. I felt like at home, you know, just walking around the campus, just seeing everything, all the people smiling at you, they're waving at you. You know, we even seen the president's car. He drove right past.
Yep.
He drove
E-Lay
right
truck,
past.
Yeah.
So it was like just, you know, walking through the buildings, seeing paintings of all the like historical figures in life. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King. They have Abe Lincoln on there. They have
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
People there. Some of the scholars from there. Some of their alumni, all on the walls and all across the campus. It's just kind of eye-opening. Also seeing Dr. Martin Luther King, the statue of him there,
Mhm.
it's like amazing because like you're living his legacy going to that school. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? So I love that school a lot.
And they have a unique Morehouse Spelman have. You get when the freshmen come in, you get a brother. So each Spelman student gets paired with the Morehouse students, their Morehouse brother and their Spelman sister. And they stay connected through graduation. And we were talking to the girl that was guiding us, and she said, you know, they're still very good friends and how they stay connected. And I just feel like, let's just be honest, sometimes those things don't just happen organically, right? If you're living up north, I mean, it's just different. So like, I feel like there's intentionality behind that. And they also have an African diaspora class that's required for every student. One of the things they said was like, every student that comes in has to take these courses for their freshman year, because they said, we recognize that students come from different states and have different levels of understanding of their own history. So they said, before we teach them anything else, we teach them who they are. And we use that as a portion of each course. So every course they offer for Morehouse, they do it from the lens of a Black male, and then from Spelman, you learn. So if you're taking a biology class, they gave examples of like how they would look at that from the biology of a Black woman, like different things. And I just was like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? It just made me feel like they just cared a lot about the students.
Exactly, for sure. Did anything shock you on the tour? Did anything just kind of like, wow, that's for the whole table?
If anything, I would say like the museums, because it's like majority of that stuff we do not learn in school. Like we really don't. So like it's very emotional. Like I didn't expect to like go through all that emotion, but yeah, I had to say it was emotional.
I'd probably say the Southern hospitality, but like even getting on the elevator, people saying good morning, hello, like that goes a long way too. Like up here we don't do it as much, but like down there they show they care. Like even if they don't know you, like when it was me and a couple guys on the tour we went to Waffle House, and there was just a lady that worked there was just talking about how her day was too. So I think that goes a long way. I think a lot of that helped make the world better too. So it was great. It was good.
Yeah, I'll say the museums too. Especially like the one that really shocked me was the one where we couldn't take pictures. It was like this one. We were walking and like there was like sand on the floor and like everybody's head was there, but it's like like head and above, like they didn't show their body because their body was like in the sand.
Yeah.
And it was like bear traps around their necks. It was like babies too. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the lady that worked there told me. I asked her about it. She said that was them waiting on the beach after to get sold. Actually, yeah, to get sold to get on the boat.
Crazy.
Like just thinking about that and seeing that is.
Yeah,
man.
like the mom was like holding the baby. She was like crying and like it's
and
like
she had
so
shackles
sad.
on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I said the museums too. The one in Mississippi with that story of Emmett Till really broke my heart because it's so sad. He was just a little kid, and it's just like that's so heartbreaking to me. And you know, you don't like Jalea said, you don't really see that day to day, and it's just like that's so heartbreaking to finally see all of that, learn it, and understand it.
Especially when he died for nothing. Like
Yeah,
she even like told like, well, that didn't really happen. It was like, then why would you say that?
It's so like, wow.
I want to say something shocking was when we heard about the story from one of the freedom writers. He was at one of our museums and he was telling about how he went to jail due to his friend trying to pull a prank, and he pushed him into the whites only bathroom. This was during the Jim Crow era, so he pushed him into the white only bathroom, and a police officer like caught him, and he was like, "What's your name and where are you from?" And then they threw him into jail. And he was in jail for a little bit of while. It was a little bit of time, and when he got out, like his mom was more upset at him than the system, like the police officer and his friend, and like his friend didn't get punished. So that was really shocking because like you from the museums, you saw that a lot. Like they were punished and they were bashed for simply being Black, and that shocked me.
Definitely. And so, what is the main thing you took away from this trip?
The main thing was that like it's so much more like opportunities everywhere else. Like you would think like just because we in a small city that it's like we just stuck here. It's no, like it's way more to like us as people and way more to like what we can do and what we can achieve. And I feel like going on that tour like literally opened our eyes to that because we in Wisconsin. Like, I don't want to say it, but y'all know what I mean. But yeah, it's just like we don't get shown that, and I wish it was more opportunities like that because I feel like this was like really eye opening, and it really changes your perspective on school. Like I came back, I'm like, nah, I can't have no missing work now. So yeah, it makes you better as a person and like better understand yourself and where you come from.
It was probably a lot of things I could have taken away, but the main thing was probably networking. Talking to anybody can help achieve your goal. So like talk to somebody about a certain thing you might need. They might know it and they might put you on to what you need to help better yourself. So I feel like getting to know people, going that extra step and breaking the boundary and saying hello could get you a long way too. So constantly my mentors tell me that, Ms. Day and Mr. Prince, they tell me that daily to network. So I think that's a key in life that can help you get you a long way too. So that was probably the main thing I took away from this.
What I took away from it is how we came from the bottom and we're thriving. Like even though we still have some like here and there stuff happening, we still like moving forward and we're still just doing great. And how we have like so many colleges. Like, see, we're even being generous. Like, we still let everybody come to a HBCU, but it's like it's mostly for, us Blacks because we came from the bottom and now we're starting from the top and we're doing better, but there's still stuff we need to work on.
I think for me is like, because some of the stuff that they told at like the HBCUs and stuff, I didn't really know that. Like, I never got taught that in school or just knew about that. So like learning about like the new stuff or not the new stuff, but learning about stuff that happened in their history, I really took that and was like, took that and seen that from my perspective and was like, yeah, that's different from what we see at school?
I would say I took the community building, like how we all came together. Like we created this mini family on this road trip bus, and driving in these schools, like Miss White said, like these schools are built for us, like they're made for us. So to see like all these people come together and they're here for you, like they're here for your career, they're here for you to see you grow. That's what I do.
I just want to add a segue to what you said. I think that what you guys have created with BSU and the ripple effect that is created in the city of BSU's, starting at all the different schools, will start to create something that's very similar to what exists on HBCU campuses. There's just something different about being able to be open and honest and talk about things that affect you on a daily basis and having that space. And so you guys have created that. And so I hear you guys dittoing a lot of things, like the speaking to each other. I see you guys throughout. All you guys probably know I'm moving and shaking, but like I noticed that like even though some of you guys may not have been organically friends before you became BSU members, you guys hold each other accountable. You guys see each other every day. You speak, you talk to each other. And I think that's awesome. Networking, I think that you guys have taken it upon yourself to involve, incorporate, welcome other people from within the school into your private space. The podcast is a perfect example to share with people because, like you said, there was a lot of stuff you didn't know about yourself, but we have to be honest. Like, if we're not being taught our history, then there's people around us that aren't either, which makes this even more important. So I think that even though we're not like the South, we can learn a lot from how they operate and use those things and bring them back to make our schools better. And thinking about what you learned this year, think about a sophomore or a freshman that you know, right? What could you tell them that would help them be more prepared for a college tour, more prepared to select where they want to go, what they want to do in their future? So just make sure you reach back, you network, you share, because that's how we keep it going.
For sure. We appreciate that. That's all I got. We appreciate you guys for watching. This is BSU, Black Student Union, Racine Case. Follow us on Instagram, Racine Case BSU, on TikTok, Racine Case BSU. Make sure you guys really check us out. We doing some big things in the city. Look out for Juneteenth.
Ooh-wee.
I know James
World Travelers Day coming up soon as well. May 6th, World Travelers Day. See us at Mitchell. We'll be there. Thank you guys for watching. Cut it.